Welcome back to Diary of a Medium Stories from the Spirit World. So today I am super excited to have a guest with me. I have the beautiful Michaela Graham. She is joining me all the way from Ireland. And Michaela is a generational psychic medium, Reiki Master, psychic healer, and Akashic Records reader. So to her, spirituality isn't something you practice occasionally. It's actually how you live, breathe, and you move through the world. So her work goes far beyond love and light, diving into shadows, truth, and the real raw parts of the human experience to create deep, authentic transformation. Michaela blends deep energetic healing with clear insight and soul-aligned guidance of the Akashic Records. And through this multi-dimensional approach, Michaela supports others in reconnecting with spirit, becoming in tune with their own truth and wisdom, and allowing you to live your spiritual path unapologetically, loudly, and on your own terms. Woohoo! That's a great intro. I love that.
That's the best intro I've ever heard. I should just have you speak it from now on, and I can say it in the morning when I get up.
I know, that's awesome. It is. I love that. It was an absolutely beautiful intro. Just like you, Miss Michaela, just like you. Thank you so much for joining me. I know that it's late where you are, and I do appreciate you. So welcome, welcome. And I'm really just looking forward to this connection and this chat and just sort of talking about all things spiritually led, because I know that for you, living a spirit-led life is something that you're very passionate about as well.
Yeah. I think honestly, it's more than just once a week tuning in, or just tuning in before we go to work. For me, it's every day. It has to be a part of your being. You have to you invoke it into all aspects of your life. It's becoming so in touch with your own intuition on everything that it's just that really deep knowing. It's something that feels really organic in your body, even if it's something as simple as going to the fridge and going, do I really want that glass of wine, or do I really need a water? It's starting off so small and learning to trust yourself in all your decisions, really.
Yeah.
So, and it's just, I don't want to just talk to my spirit guides every now and then. I want it to be completely immersed in my life daily, that it's just a part of me. It's not separate. Is that the best way to say it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to be separate. It's not a separate entity. It's not Michaela the psychic medium and then Michaela the mom or Michaela the whatever. It's the one person. It's living truthfully in your own power daily and not being ashamed of it.
Yeah, beautiful. Actually, we're going to circle back round to that topic because I have quite a lot to talk about on that subject as well, because I've actually really been on both sides of that. So I want to circle back round to, I guess, how we connected. And you were living over here in Australia, and we connected obviously through all things kind of woo-woo and doing some mentoring with the same mentor as well. So our kind of paths crossed in that circle, and then we kind of just hit up this friendship, right? So we hit up this friendship, like we can both talk for England and Ireland. We're just going to presence that. I'm going to be timekeeping this.
I think that's best, honestly.
Yeah, I remember one time when we met for a coffee, and like 4 hours later, we decided to go home. So our connection is definitely really strong and runs really deep, which I love. And I wanted to, and I guess as well, like I don't know really your story, as in, how you came to do this work. Like, I know that you mentioned that you're a generational psychic medium, which is very different from me. So I'd love to kind of circle back around for you and ask, I guess, when was the first time, or when did you actually realize, oh, like I can actually communicate with spirit or people that have passed? What was that like for you? Because I guess you grew up in Ireland in a small village. Small village, yeah, is that right?
Yeah, yeah, small town.
Yeah, yeah. So go back around and tell me kind of how that came about for you, because I know that, I've talked about with our listeners of how, mine came on really heightened up and came online, obviously with the passing of my dad, which is, kind of very different to you.
Mhm. Mine really started around the age of 5 to 6 years of age. And I have a distinct memory of the house that I was living in at the time. Just been things were off. I'd see things move and doors were closed and all of that like woo-woo spooky stuff that you essentially see on TV.
Yeah.
But been 5 or 6, you don't question it. It's just normal. And I remember saying to my mom one day, I was speaking to the guy under the stairs, and she's like, "Who are you speaking to?" And I described what he looked like. I had said who he was and what I was smelling. And then it later turns out that when I got older, she had told me then that there was a young man that had disabilities that had died in that house.
Oh, okay.
And that's who I had
Interesting.
been speaking to. But after that, it sort of just filtered off. As you know, when you're that age, you get told you're just imagining it. It's not real. You get cut off to the point that you cut it off yourself,
Yeah,
which I
definitely.
did
Mm-hmm.
until I got a bit older, early teenage years. I felt different, didn't really know what it was. I didn't really fit in, but I fitted in as you do. You make yourself fit in.
Mm-hmm.
But I always felt completely different. I'd feel different in a room in different houses, as in like you would walk in and you'd feel a presence or an energy, but you couldn't essentially put a word or a name to it. You couldn't
Okay.
really describe what it was.
And it was just like
Or
a
you,
sense of energy.
yeah, just that
Okay,
sense of something
interesting.
else. Like
Yeah.
walking into a wall would be the best way to put it, like a wall of energy that, like, what? There it is. Or seeing shadows either side of my eyes and thinking, what is that? And thinking, did I just make that up? Then as I
Yeah.
got older, I went to college and I was living in this very, very old terrace house and got up in the middle of the night. I'm going to be really honest, to go to the bathroom and walked up the stairs. And there was a man standing there, just standing there. And sort of from there, that was it. I wasn't really given a choice at that stage. It became more and more prevalent. He sort of followed me around everywhere. I would start sensing things. At this stage, I wasn't speaking. I was
Okay.
seeing,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was feeling, but I wasn't actually speaking to them. I think I was too afraid at the time, even as a 18,
Yes.
19 year old. I was afraid of the energy, and I was sort of just like, what do you want? But not really taking the time to actually listen to
Did you,
I was,
yeah, did you feel scared when that was happening, or did you just kind
yes,
of you did feel scared? Yeah, which is very, very usual, right?
at that
Especially if
time.
you wake up in the middle of the night and there's a man standing at the top of your stairs. This is not really what you want to be dealing with. Interesting.
And then as time went on, I started to become used to him and I passed to no marks. And I ended up going back to living in a house with my sister. In that house, then it just, when I say it went from 0 to 100, it went from 0 to 100. Spirit was extremely active. I started sensing a little boy that was with me, and I ended up then sitting and taking the time, because I wasn't afraid of him, to
Yes.
talk to him and just say, how can I help? What is your name? Starting to really just have a chat,
Communicate.
essentially, to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And his name was David. He told me where he was from. And after that, it's sort of then I started dipping my toe in the water more spiritually, going to classes and things like that, doing different
Yes.
practices, and then really discovered that out of everything that I was doing, mediumship for me came very
Mm-hmm.
naturally. Then I spoke to
Mm.
my family about it and found out that my great aunt was a professional medium, and that my grandmother can do it, and that
Ah,
my mom
yes.
actually used to do tarot. So it was all there, and it became like a remembering more so.
Wow, I
Like it
love
came back
that.
naturally. Yeah,
I
it was like
love
I'd
that you just said,
forgotten.
I love that you just said that. Like it was actually a remembering. We talk about that when we teach, right? That it's almost like I'm not here to teach you mediumship. I'm just here to show you the mechanics and how you can work with spirit and remember. You know, it's like more just that awakening of remembering how to communicate. Wow, that's super interesting. Yeah, so you had this little boy and you spoke to him. So then after that, did you start getting like more spirits that were coming to you, wanted to kind of chat with you?
I did. It sort of came through. It was coming through very quickly. And then I realized that I needed to put boundaries in place because it
Yes.
was, you were in the shop and you would walk doing your shopping and then you'd be like, "Whoa," you'd feel somebody to come in straight away. And it was 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, you're waking up, same
Yes.
thing. And it was like, this isn't, for me, it wasn't sustainable. Like I felt like I was giving out so much energy and
Yes.
the messages weren't even as clear as I wanted them to be because it was constant.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
I shut it down completely. It's like, this is too much. I can't handle it. I can't do this. And I left it for a few years.
Yes.
And then I
Yes.
slowly, more so in Australia, actually, then really started to feel comfortable and ready then to
Mm-hmm.
step back into it, but been very clear about the boundaries that I wanted. I think at the start, I wanted to be like Teresa Bakudo and all of those people that you see, and you want to be that person that, oh, spirit's talking to me. I have your granddad here. But I think what I didn't realize at the time that it was validation I was seeking.
Ah, okay.
I
Yeah.
was I was
Interesting.
seeking validation to be like, oh, you actually can do this.
Yeah.
You can
And
do this. Like,
yeah, let's talk a little bit about that because I resonate with that, I think, as well. And when I first stepped into, I guess, started getting a lot of my experiences, like having a massage, having the grandma of the girl massaging me, and then feeling the need to then say to her, oh, your grandma's been speaking to you. And I think that, when we now know better, right? Because obviously the
mhm.
ethics around doing that is, at the time it's like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Like I want to, and I think it's also like, I want to help everyone. Like I can do
Yeah,
this. I can help everyone. I can, let them know that their loved ones are okay. But energetically, what we're doing is we're going into other people's energy, right, and energy spaces and things
mhm.
like that. Ethically, we don't really want to be doing that, especially as a professional medium now, and
Yeah,
and we know that. I think everyone goes through the stage and everyone's going to absolutely 100% agree and recognize themselves in the fact that you said that, and that not having boundaries and getting woken up and having spirit speak to you all of the time, because I just used to think I was a really bad sleeper. And it wasn't until I really stepped into this work and found boundaries with spirit that I realized actually it was that they were talking to me all night,
yeah.
that I was constantly not sleeping properly. And I guess feeling into that for our listeners, what would setting boundaries with the spirit world, what would that look like? What did that look like for you?
For me, I wanted it to be obviously, as you say, ethically when it comes to other people's energies. I wanted to make sure that I was not like if I went up to somebody and I said, your dad's here and didn't have a good relationship. I never wanted to trigger anybody either.
Yeah.
Like I never wanted to trigger somebody. So that was really important to me. I felt like it wasn't my place to do that. So permission was really important for me.
Permission, yeah.
Boundaries with spirit as well. When I'm working, I'm working. When I'm
Yes.
not working, I'm not working.
Yeah.
That's it. When I'm on the clock, we're on the clock. We're not doing it. And that doesn't mean not leading a spirit led life.
Yes.
That just means when I'm clocked in, we're working. And I found doing that, my readings were far better because I wasn't wasting energy. It wasn't leaking out of me. Spirit knew when it was time to go, it was time to go. And that was it. And my connection became stronger. My relationship with my team became stronger. And I became a better reader by doing that. And that's still really, really important for me. And I love when you say to somebody, they say, what do you do for your living? And they say, I say I'm a psychic medium. Oh my God, who's around me? Or am I going to win the lotto? And I often say, do you have your hairdressing scissors here? Like, can you cut my hair? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, that's a boundary. We're not
Yeah.
doing that. I'm not getting just like, we're not entertaining that. I'm not at work right now. You're not at work right now. So
Yes. Yeah.
boundaries like that just made me comfortable in myself as well. And I think
Yeah.
it's very important to have it.
Yeah. So it's like boundaries with spirit, but also boundaries like for your own energy outside of that, right? When, like you say, you're at an event or you're with other people and they find out that you can do this, and I have it as
Hmm.
well. It's just like, oh, is there anyone around me? And it's like I just go, oh no, I'm not working at the moment. I'm switched off. Like I just make a laugh about it.
Hmm.
And, but you know, you're exactly right, because a lot of students that come through, and I was definitely one of those at the time, was that I was just so open that I was just receiving everything all of the time. And then that's when you question yourself, is this me? Am I making it up? Is this spirit? Where, you know, if you're listening to this and this is you and you're receiving everything, when you have a practice of boundaries with yourself and with spirit, you know, when we come into reading or we're coming into teaching or we're coming into even just doing this
Hmm.
podcast, right? Because, you know, it's spirit led, of course, is that, you know, what then happens is you're like, I am intentionally connecting for this reason. So I say it all the time, like when I come in to do a reading and I'm intentionally connecting, I have no worry about whether I'm involved in the reading, because I know that everything I'm experiencing then is coming from spirit. And this is where a lot of people can get overwhelmed, because they are, right? They're open, their energy field, their aura is like right out here. You're probably empathic, you pick up everybody else's
Yeah.
shit. And then when you realize it gets too overwhelming, and like you said, and for me, it was the same, I walked away,
Hmm.
even went into kind of development and then still walked away because it became
Yeah.
too much. But then when I realized it was more about my boundaries than anything else, then everything up leveled, everything become better. My evidence became amazing because I had no doubt then, exactly like you said, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, so amazing. And I guess, I mean, that leads us into, like you said, you can still live a spirit-led life without being constantly switched on and drained of energy.
I think so. And I think it brings you then to knowing, especially when you're in this industry and you are an empath, like really all of us are. I always think we have to be an empath because we're feeling that energy
Yeah.
always. It's introducing then the spiritual hygiene into it, which is really important for me. You know, if I'm out in big spaces or things like that, that I'm protecting that energy.
Yeah.
When I have a shower in the evening, just washing it off, grounding, just even taking like 3 minutes just to reset the nervous system, which I didn't even understand until I met you. I had no idea what the nervous system was and how much of an important part it would play in all of this. And then once you
Yeah.
taught me how to regulate my nervous system, not only when we're doing this work, but in everyday life. And as you taught,
Mm.
is it my shit or is it somebody else's shit? It was a game changer because it was like, as you said, the mirror, like I now use that.
Yeah.
What I'm mirroring in my life is mirroring in my readings. I can be able to
Mm.
differentiate between it is so important.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's part of living that spirit led life. You know, is this
Yeah.
mine? Is this somebody else's? Like, why am I triggered? Am I triggered because they're triggering me, or is it my own shit? It's so important. And I think as a person, as a reader, as a human being, it really allows you to understand yourself on such a different, on such a higher level. Like you sort of go from here to here, and
Yeah.
the outward world isn't, you just don't pay attention, you don't get involved,
Mm. Yeah.
you're sort of, you let it all, you just let it wash off. And I think that's really important as well. Like as you said, it's, is it
Yeah, yeah.
mine, you
And
know.
it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, because same for me, right? Is, you know, I couldn't understand my journey that, you know, I was like a pretty good medium, but then I struggled with getting in front of people. Like I remember going to try and go into practice readings and I would be like hyperventilating. I would like be wanting to like cancel. I'd be all of those things. And I was taught in my mentorship for sure that the nervous system is the key. And for me, it was definitely the key. And it's definitely the missing piece, I believe, of this journey. Like I meet so many people who are amazing mediums. I mean, let's be honest, you were one of them. And when I met you, like I was completely blown away by your mediumship. You're like a highly evidential medium. But you lacked being able to have the self-confidence and the ability to get in front of people and share that magic. And it had nothing to do with your mediumship and everything to do with your nervous system and, not feeling good enough or worthy enough or, what if I get it wrong? All of those triggers that come up in your mediumship. And working on that for you, I've seen you completely transform how you work with the spirit world now and what you're doing and expanding yourself and now going into, teaching and things like that because you've done that work. And, when I talk about that as well, like in my academy, it's you first, mediumship second, like otherwise, because if you're not right, and what's the analogy I always give, I'll repeat it, but it's like if you have a really beautiful singing voice and you're a beautiful singer and you have a singing teacher, but you have stage fright, you've got the wrong problem. Right? You've got the wrong problem. You actually need someone to help you with your stage fright because you're never going to be able to share that. And I meet so many mediums like me because obviously I was the person, we're all our own first students, right?
Oh,
Is that was the key to everything. It was the key to my mediumship up leveling so quickly as well without having to sit in development for years and years and years. Yeah.
I think that's a misconception as well, is that I'm going to be really honest. I think it is a little deep seated secret of the spiritual community. Like, let's keep them in training and let's do this level and this level and this level and let's constantly level up. But the thing is, what are you leveling up on? Like if you develop and you, as you said, you get rid of the stage fright, you regulate your nervous system. I think one of the most important things I ever got taught, which was from you, was like, I'm not doing it, spirit is.
Yes.
I'm not doing it, spirit is.
Yes.
It is a nervous system calmer for me straight away because I'm like, well, I can't get it wrong. Spirit's doing all the work. I'm just the communicator in between the two. And that is a game changer because it takes the pressure off.
Yeah, definitely.
And it helps you, and becoming used to the word no.
Yes. Yeah.
Becoming used to the word no, like keep getting it wrong till it feels right is probably the best way to do it. Get it wrong till it feels right.
I'm going to write that down. Hang on.
I know. It is, it's honestly, I like, get it, like get it, keep getting
it wrong till you get it
till
right.
It feels right. Yeah, till it feels right. Because once you get used to the word no, once you get used to feeling that panic of getting it wrong, once that all goes, you're like, well, I'm not, like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It just becomes natural then. And I think that's really important as well. And as you said, we don't need years of training. Once we trust ourselves and trust spirit and know that that relationship with your guides and with spirit is solid, you can just sit back and let everything unfold really beautifully in a reading because it's just natural.
And let's be honest, how do I want to say this? Like, getting better at mediumship is actually doing mediumship, is practicing mediumship. It isn't sitting learning about mediumship. It's like everything, like I always think, well, if you were going to learn to drive a car, if you just sat in a room and somebody explained to you and told you, this is the pedal, this does, does that, but you never actually got in the car and drove, you'll know the concept of it, but you learn as you grow. And I think a lot of the time when you're talking about up leveling, like there's nothing wrong with up leveling yourself, right? But what you don't want to do is what a lot of us end up doing is collecting certifications, right? Because of course it makes us feel like we are good enough or we can do something, right? Because we've been conditioned to be told, well, you have to be certified or you have to have this. Like you with yourself, you've got lived generational mediumship, right? You can't certify that. No. So yes, we have to make sure we are working ethically, of course. So certifications are really, really good. And I've got many of them under my belt.
I know the feeling.
Things. But in all honesty, most of the time, I've got those mostly for insurance purposes, because
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
want to get insured for, to work in this space, you have to have certifications in certain things to be able
Hmm.
to be insured, and insured is a very human thing that needs to happen
Exactly.
to make sure that we safeguard everybody. And I wanted to circle a little bit back around to something you said, which was back to that spirit-led life where you talked about, a little bit about, your boundaries when you go out into places and your showers. For the listeners that's listening, can you just kind of give us, maybe what you said, just like a 3 minute overview of what that looks like for you, for our empaths that are going out, maybe they're, I find that a lot of empaths start to isolate themselves because they are like, the world outside becomes too loud and it becomes too
Hmm.
overwhelming, that they kind of can withdraw. And I know I did that for a length of time. Like, I just was like no to everything. Like, my nervous system capacity couldn't hold it.
No.
But we want to make sure that our human, that we can live in our human as well, right? So we can use our spiritual to help support our human. What does that look like for you? Tell me what that
For
is.
me, it honestly starts of a morning. Starts of a morning, waking up before I look at my phone, before I do anything. It's literally just doing a bit of breath work, taking, those 4 breaths and getting my nervous system ready for the day. Then I like to ground. It's nothing crazy. I'm not going on a big journey. I'm literally just grounding down and stabilizing my energy for the day. And then I just set the intention that I want to protect my energy and I don't want to take on anybody else's.
Yeah.
Throughout the day, then if I can feel myself getting, if we want to say, triggered or annoyed, I'm like, I'd like to check in with my body, my nervous system, and say, is this mine? Is it somebody else's? And when I can
Mm,
differentiate between the two, I'm like, okay, this is not mine. We're not entertaining this. I
beautiful.
then, if I'm out and about or at a family gathering, Christmas is a really good one, and there's so many people, I get really overwhelmed. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I've peopled enough now, and I get triggered really
People
easy.
out. Yeah.
I get peopled out. I have to
I
literally,
do.
I'll go to the bathroom, lock the door, and I will literally just take a few breaths and just let it
Yeah.
out. Also, knowing my boundaries of when to stick up for myself and say no. I know that sounds really, is that a spirit led life? It is, because if
Yeah.
someone's just at me and at me and at me, and I'm very emotional. Like, I'm a really, really, really emotional person. I've always been too sensitive,
Yes.
always. I now realize that my sensitivity is a superpower and I own it. I love that I'm too sensitive. It's why I do what I do now. So I'm really
Hmm.
grateful for that. But it took a long time to get used to
Accept it.
saying
Yeah.
I'm okay with being over emotional or too sensitive. But it allows me to put a boundary to say, you know what, no, no. And even if I'm not saying it out loud to you in myself, I'm just like, we're not doing that. I'm not taking this on. I'm not allowing it to upset me. This isn't mine. That's
Hmm.
theirs.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if I'm going out to the shops and things like that, I'll just put my little bubble around me, just protect my energy. But when I come home, it's a non-negotiable every single evening. I will have a shower. I will wash the energy off. I will reground down. And then I will literally just be so grateful, even for the smallest things throughout the day. Even if I've had a really shit day and I'm trying to find something in the day to be positive about, even if I can't find anything positive in that day, I'm alive. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm still here and I'm still breathing. So it's just about being comfortable in my own self, talking to my team, checking in with myself, with my nervous system, and just regulating through everyday life, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
do I burn
Yeah.
a bit of sage in the house? Yeah. Did I get the sage out? And I'm like, sage in everywhere.
Yeah.
100%. Like, do I
Yes.
love an essential oil in through the house just to, like, I can
Yeah.
smell it, I automatically go. So when I say spirit led life, I mean those things too, the little
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
that bring me peace every day, just the little rituals that I do just for myself and to
Yes.
connect in with my team to grow that and strengthen that, and even say, good morning to them, good night to them, all of those things, and just treat them really his family and his friends,
Yeah. That's
because
so,
that's, you know,
yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we can get complacent a little bit sometimes as well when we're working in this space. I'm going to put my
mhm,
hand up and I'm going to say that's probably me, right? And sometimes I'm like, well, because I'm working in this space all the time, and actually, I was just talking to my students about this. Even though we're working in this space all the time, we're connecting on the basis for other people, either for readings for other people or
mhm.
for teachings for other people. And I value time, which I call like sit with spirit, which we did this week in class, where it's like just taking 10 minutes each day, somewhere in the day. It doesn't have to be massive. You don't have to have any special space to
No.
sit and special things that you're doing, but just allowing yourself to receive downloads, right, for you. And like I found, I got a little bit complacent with this, like through my journey, where I because I was working so much in the space, I stopped doing that for myself. And I remember when I went back in and I reconnected with my spirit team, we've been a little while, I have to be honest. It was like, oh my God, here she is eventually, like I got roused right really badly. Even if it's something that, you fall off, you can come back to it, like, your spirit team, the universe, God, however you want to call it. There's no judgment, right? There's no
No.
judgment. Sometimes we get too far in our human, and sometimes we get too far in our
Hmm.
in
It's a
our spirit,
balance.
and just trying to find that balance in whatever works for you. And I'm a big advocate of talking about what works for you. There's no rules. There's spirit do not need you to do anything. They don't need you to meditate for half an hour a day. They
No.
don't need you to do anything special. All of those things are for you. They're for you. You do that, you ground your energy, which I'm guessing is just imagining those beautiful roots from the trees,
Yeah.
just grounding to the earth. And this is living a spirit led life, but also trusting your own intuition, because that is spirit as well. It's your higher self. Like your intuition is your psychic work. It is your psychic
Yes.
GPS beacon. I don't know why I was doing that. I'm like, my
You're
hands just
like,
wanted to talk about it. I'm like, it's like,
E.T.
that's what I felt like that. Yeah, like your spidey senses, right? And it's like,
Exactly.
and that is all living that spirit-led life and leading in to, that the universe is always working for us and not
Yeah.
against us. And I think that might lead nicely into the fact that when you meet people and your paths cross, there's a reason for that, isn't there? There's a
Yeah.
connection. Like when we met, automatically there was just this energetic connection. You see it in your romantic relationships, your
Yeah.
friendships. You walk into a room, you know where you want to go energetically. It's like, oh, energetically I'm pulled there. Energetically I'm like, oh, that energy doesn't
Hmm.
feel too good. So this is how we connect with people and we build relationships, friendships, and things like that, because it is energy. It's that energetic frequency that you're on that balances you in almost like a magnet to people. And then when it's not, it's like this energetic pushback. Like these are not your people.
That can be hard though too.
Yeah.
You like, does that
Yeah.
make it like, I think you have to become, as you said, you have to be, I find becoming spiritual and living it. I lost people, like I lost friendships and
Yeah.
relationships
Shedding.
because
Mm.
we no longer align. So you're 100% with that. Like it's part of it. It's part of being okay with it and looking and saying, okay, well, it was for a reason, as you said.
Yeah. It's the shedding season, right?
Hmm.
We all we've been through it. And if you're listening to this could be you right now, right? Know
Hmm.
that the universe is removing these people because they're not on the path of where you're going.
No.
And you have to leave them behind, unfortunately, in order to go where you're going, where what your soul contract is and your soul path. And that's a whole another episode. But circling back around, so yeah, so obviously we connected, you came and worked with
Hmm.
me, and now we are collaborating and we're bringing Awakening Your Inner Spirit retreat to Bali.
Yes, it is going to
So
be amazing.
I'm so excited that you agreed to come on board and facilitate at this
It's an honor, trust me.
5 day event. And you're flying in all the way from Ireland
I think
to,
it's like 18 hours.
oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Exactly. I know. And I appreciate you so much. And the fact that you are going to travel all that way and come and have this experience. And I am super excited to bring, because we are both very, very different in the way we work with spirit, in our mediumship, in what we bring as well. And over this 5 days, and I'm going to go off the top of my head because I don't have it in front of me, but I think we're doing like, we have 12 workshops. We are running over 5 to 6 days, 5 nights, 6 days.
5 nights.
And in the heart of Ubud, it's all inclusive. All you need to buy is your insurance and your flight, probably a visa as well. I'm just working all those details out to send to everyone. And we're already literally half full. So, this is 10 people in a really small space of, well, not a really small space, the villa's massive.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's like luxury. It's like,
well, I meant like close proximity.
I
meant close proximity. So like 10 beautifully aligned people. I have one of my gorgeous students coming from Canada, which just lights me up so much, because I can't wait to see her in person. And a few of my other students as well who are on board and want to come. And it's structured, it's spirit-led, spirit downloaded the whole retreat to me when I was 6 hours delayed back from Dubai, and told me what I had to bring. And if you had even told me 12 months ago that I would hold a retreat in Bali and space for people, even then probably my nervous system would have gone,
I can't. And I think just been in such a beautiful spiritual place anyway, and been surrounded by like-minded, beautiful women who all want to sit in that amazing energy, who all are ready to learn, not just about spirit, but about themselves, and just build and share that safe connection of women where, if we're going to laugh, we're going to cry, we're going to share, just to have and make memories, but just to have all of that and make essentially lifelong friends. And even after the retreat, to continue to support each other afterwards. And each person brings something to it. Even if we're learning, I'm always learning from even my students. I'm always learning from my mentor. I think it's so important. And I just think when you know yourself, when you're sitting in that energy and the room is electric and it's a safe space to be. And I don't know about you, but obviously it is the year of the horse. Like, we are ready to go. That feminine energy is just electric and amazing and so empowering. And I think for your students to feel comfortable with you already is so fantastic. And for anybody that isn't working with Emma and that does want to meet somebody, I'm going to excuse my French, that wants no bullshit, that wants someone that is going to nurture them, be soft with them, but also pull you up where you need to be pulled up in the realest of ways, that allows you to see yourself so fully, which is so important, because I needed that. I needed someone to always do that for me.
But a little bit of tough love. Yeah. Like I need a bit of tough love. It's a bit of tough love with me. Yes, absolutely.
And sometimes that's what's needed. I need to, like, otherwise it's like, poor me. I needed tough love. And I just think if you're wanting someone, or you're questioning if this is the right decision for you, do it. Just feel into it, as we said earlier. Trust your intuition and do it. Like, because those spots are just gonna.
100%. We would love to hold space with you and take you on this journey to awaken the spirit within. And even if your spirit is awakened a little bit, right? We just wake her up. She's the horse. We'll just open her up and just bring the magic. Spirit will be there. They will be leading the way. And I have just such a beautiful feeling about this event. And it's my inaugural retreat. So if this is amazing, watch this space and
Yes.
yeah, watch this space. There's a beautiful collaboration going on.
It is. I'm very excited. I think as well, it's just everything that you said. I think it's going to be fun as well.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of laughs, I think, as well, which is really good. It's, yeah.
Because
it's
you
like,
know what?
Go to bed. Go to bed.
I know, right? And it's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of the time people think about spirit-led, spirit being meditation, quietness, quiet in your mind, be calm. But to be fair, I'm a bit neurospicy, and you know, there's quietness in my brain actually doesn't happen often.
I can't meditate. So.
Yeah, we're not going to spend hours meditating. It's going to be high vibration, people.
And I think that's important too. I think it's important. I think for me starting out, it's important to know that it's okay that you don't like meditating.
Yeah.
And it's okay that it's okay to be not all light and love all the time. It's okay to be yourself, and you don't have to be what you think spirituality is. Yes. And as you said, you're a little bit spicy. I'm a little bit spicy. I like to dance it out to get the vibe up, just to get that energy moving.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good for anybody that's questioning, like, well, I don't like meditation. I'm not all light and love. Is spirituality? It is. You just haven't found your people, and your retreat.
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
That, you know?
That's right. You just haven't found the right space to be in 100%. No. And that's not to say that I don't think meditation is beneficial. I 100% do. Like, I absolutely do. But I can do 10 minutes. And that's why I always say, you know, sit with spirit, sit with yourself. A lot of the times, like, just sit with you for 10 minutes. And just allow yourself to be in receivership of whatever you need. I don't have all the answers, and I never say or lead anyone to believe that I do. I'm still learning, but I'll share what I believe in my experience. And, you know, if you're listening to this, you take what resonates with you and you just leave behind what doesn't. And that's the most important thing, because that's living a spirit-led life. And that's the main thing. That's what we want to wrap it up with. All right.
Yes.
And I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. Before you go, I'm going to repeat this sentence like you said, because I love it. And it's like, Michaela, it wants to tell you to keep getting it wrong until it feels right. And I love that. Thank you so much
for
being here.
Yes,
I know.
You have to get it wrong until it feels right.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And I just literally cannot wait to give you a squeeze in real life again, because it's been far too long since you left and that I've actually seen you. So thank you, beautiful. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And I know that we're going to have more conversations. Like, there's lots of rabbit holes that we're going to go down and
get ready.
Talk about. So I think this might actually end up being a regular segment. So watch this space. I think it might do. All right, gorgeous. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And we will speak soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Diary of a Medium, Stories from the Spirit World. If something in today's episode has sparked something within you and you are curious about your own spiritual gifts, then check out my website on how I can support you. If you have your own story to share, then please reach out. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to support me, you can subscribe, leave a review, or simply share this with a friend. So until next time, trust yourself, trust spirit, and keep listening to the whispers from the universe. Bye for now.